Hello everyone and welcome to my YouTube channel, Data Science with Alfred. This is part 2 of the previous video on Introduction to Python. So today we're going to be talking about index and slice. An index is a specific position of a sequence, all right? Or a specific position in a sequence. The sequence could be a list, tuple, or string, which we've talked about in the previous video. So the first element has an index of 0 in Python, right? The first element of a list or a tuple will have an index of 0. And we also have, that's for positive indexing, but we also have negative indexing, right? For negative indexing, the last value will start with a -1. The last value will start with a -1. Let me take this again. For positive indexing, the first value will start with a 0. Then for negative indexing, the last value will start with a -1 as displayed on your screen. I hope you can all see. So um, I'll give a few examples. So I'm going to be using the print. I'll be using the print command to display some results. So under the now we know that my list is a so my list is a list. Yes, my list is a list, and we know. So my list is a list containing some elements or some items 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So now the best way to fetch individual elements in this list is to use indexing. So if I'm using index 0 to print, you will see the results on display will be 10, as you can see, right? Then um, if you put index 1, you see it would give us the second value, which is 20. If you use index 2, it will give us the third value, which is what, 30, as you can see, and so on and so forth. And you can also do negative indexing. So if I say -1, that should be the last value. So you can see it gave us 50. It gave us 50. Then if you do -2, you should get the second to the last value, which should be 40. As you can see, the result is 40. Please guys, if you have not liked, if you have not subscribed to this channel, please kindly do that so that you can encourage us to do more videos like this. Okay, so um, now we can also do what we call slice. A slice is just fetching a portion of this sequence, right? A slice is just fetching a portion of the sequence. So for example, if I slice, let's say um, 1 ratio or colon 1 ratio, let's say 4. Please observe this. When you are slicing, be careful with the last number. Here, Python will omit this last value 50. Let's print this and see. Now you can see give me 20, 30, 40, right? Because I started with index 1. Okay, let me even start with um, index 0 to index 4. So if I start with index 0 to index 4, I will have 10, 20, 30, 40. Now you can see it has omitted um, the 50, that's the number 50. So how do I fetch the number 50? I can fetch that if I had used number 5 here, because Python will always omit that last index, you can see. So Python will omit the last um, index if you are doing a slice. If you are doing a slice, it will always omit the last index. Okay, so um, if I don't want to, if I want to target all the lists, I don't even need to put any condition. I can just put the um, column inside, and then you see it gave me the entire list. So if you see, like I've defined here, if you see the if you see just the column in the square bracket, it just means to return the entire sequence. So and then if you see the column in two places, it means you're doing a stepwise slice, which you're going to be looking at now. So what is a stepwise slice? A stepwise slice is okay, is a command the um, that fetches the entire sequence, but then obeys a certain rule. All right, it obeys a certain rule. So, for instance, here I'm saying, okay, fetch the entire. Okay, let me remove these two first so that you understand what I'm trying to say. So now, if I do this, I'm saying, okay, still fetch um, the entire sequence. But then I'm going to now at the back of this column, I'm now going to define how it should give me this sequence. So if I put one here, for example, and print, you see nothing will really change because you see nothing changes here. Because now this is a stepwise slide in one step, meaning select the numbers one after the other. That is 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. So I have a cheat I normally use. The cheat is such that this number that is here, the last number. So let me put my cheat to um, to stepwise slice. What's my cheat to stepwise slice? Is that if it is a positive number, for positive, what I do is I just add, sorry, I subtract 1 from the value, right? Then if negative, I add 1. So let's do this. This is interesting. I know this does not give a proper explanation to it, but this is a cheat I've used um, from school days. So how do I mean? So this is a positive number, which is +1. So what do you do to this +1? You subtract 1 in your head. So 1 minus 1 is 0. So what it means that is that your stepwise slice is not going to have any condition, meaning it's going to display everything as it is, which it has done here. So, but let me use another one. Let me use 2. If this is 2, what I'm going to be saying is that, okay, for 2 now, if you say 2 minus 1, you're going to have 1. So it means you're going to be jumping one number from the first one, meaning 10, you jump 20 to 30, you jump 40 to 50. Okay, so let's print this and see how it goes. You can see 10, you jumped 20, which is one number, then 30, you jumped one number, 40 to 50. So this is a cheat that you can use to be able to understand this. Now, um if it is let's try 3. If it is 3 now, that will be 3 minus 1 should give you 2. So you're going to be jumping two numbers. So let's print this. You see, you have just 10 and 40 because after 10, you jump two numbers 20, 30, then 40. There are no two numbers to jump again. So that becomes the end. I hope this is very easy for you to comprehend. So now let's use some negative numbers here. So let's say -1. Let me try, let's say -1. So we said something earlier that if it is a negative value, we just add 1. So let's print. You see, here, the issue here now is that it's going to give you the reverse. That is in the in descending order. You know, the other one for the positive number was giving you in ascending order, but this one in descending order. But everything remains the same. You can see 50 You see 50, 40, 30, 20, 10. You can see the results here. Everything is the same, right? So use my cheat. My cheat code says when it's negative, what do? You add 1. So when you add -1 plus 1 is 0. It means you are not jumping any number, all right? So you are not jumping any number. So here, for the stepwise slice, all you need to do, let me put another statement. Here, we jump number or we jump elements. Okay, so let me use -2. If I use -2 here, you would see the result now. So you can see. So for -2, if you say -2 plus 1, that's -1. So you are going to be jumping one number from behind. So you say 50, you jump 40 to give you 30. After 30, you jump 20 to give you 10. So it's this simple. So if you did not get this part, I advise that you replay it and rewatch it so that you can see how this works. So this we're going to stop here for slice. All right. So we're going to um, the other part of this class, which is called the Boolean logic. The Boolean logic. So let me comment this out. So the Boolean logic. Wow, this is interesting. So let me type that Boolean logic. So if you understand the Boolean logic, it will become very easy for you to do a lot of conditional statements. Yeah, it will be easy for you to also you know um, yes, to give you to place conditions in a function. Okay, so and these are very very basic. So the Boolean logic. So we'll start with the first one. So let me be writing the comments. So we all know what this sign means. So I believe everyone knows what this sign means. This is what? Less than, right? Then we have greater than. Then we also have greater than or equal to. How do you write greater than or equal? Okay, let me start with the less than. This is less than or equal to. Yes. So less than or equal to. Then we have greater than or equal to. Greater than or equal to. Right? Then we also have um, equivalent to, or you can see equal to. So you can see equivalent or equal to, right? Then we also have not equal to. How does it look like? So for Python, you always use, sorry, see something like this, not equal to. This is not equal to. Not equal to. And then um, we also, yes, so we also have the true. Let me use true. Always start with a caps lock. True or false logic, right? So these are all Boolean logic, which is very, very mandatory that you understand to be able to do, place conditions in a statement. So because of this, we are going to do what we call conditional statements. That's the next thing. Conditional statements, right? Conditional statements. Now, you need to pay close attention here. Conditional statements. So how do we write conditional statements? We're going to be using our Boolean logic, you know, to be able to understand this concept very well, right? So for conditional statements, we normally use the if, elif, uses if, and else statements, right? So I'm going to stack all of them together, right? So let me use something like this. If um if age, all right, um if age, or maybe I should declare a variable first. So let me say age is equals to um 30. Aha, I've initialized the variable. So I'm going to now write a condition, right? And now say if age is, now let's go back and take, let's say, let's use the greater than or equal to, or let me even use age. Let me use a more teenage age to be able to give us the the vibe. So let's say if age is 18. Oh, okay, sorry. So if we initialize the age, let's say we say we define the age as 18 from the beginning. Now we want to write a conditional statement, right? So if age, right, is, let's say, less than or equal to 18. Where is less than or equal to? This is the condition. Less than or equal to. If age is less than or equal to 18, right? You put your colon, then enter. You can see how it is indented. So if age, then the what should come in now should be the result. If a condition, then a result. So if age is less than or equal to 18, right? Then let's say um, display something, or let's put something like this: states, let's say is a kid, right? State kid. Then the next thing that follows is the elif, right? Elif, elif. Then let's say age is greater than 65, right? If it's greater than 65, we're going to say, okay, well, this person is retired. So the state, we're going to say retired, retired, right? Then the last thing that will end that is the else. Else. So for the else, we're just going to say state, let's say state, let's say active. Okay, so if you look at these conditions, so this is how you write conditional statements. Now it has the if, the elif, and the else. Sometimes you might not even need the elif if the condition is just true. So if it is a maybe yes or no, or true or false, two conditional statements do not need the if, elif, and else. You just need the if and else. But if the conditions have three legs, then you can now apply the if, the elif, and the else. Okay, so what we are saying here is that, okay, already we know the age is 18. We can also take inputs from users, all right, before we apply this condition. But here, we've already initialized the age to be 18. So if the age is less than or equal to 18, then we can say, okay, the state of this person is a kid. Then if, okay, L if the age is greater than 65, we'll know, okay, it's retired. Else, the state of the person is active, right? So we can also print this result, all right? We can print this result. Now, let me show you something. If you run this like this, you see, you will not be able to get anything except you print the result. So the result is actually the state. So let's print the state and see. So if we print the state, beg your pardon. Okay, so let me print the state like this. Sorry. Now you can see I needed not to put the print under the indentation of state. So now that we printed the state, it's telling us, oh, it's a kid. What's the status of this person? A kid, because the age is what? 18. So what if we use the age 70? So for age 70, it's going to apply to the elif, which says retired, right? So anything age when the age is greater than 65, it's going to return retired. So let's print this and see. So when you run this, it's going to tell us, oh, this person is retired. Then if we say, okay, um, if we put something greater than 18, you know, let's say 20, for example, I'm sure it's going to return active. So we'll print this, you see, active. Okay, so this is how your if, elif, and else statements are structured. First of all, you need to initialize the variable that you are talking about that you want to apply this condition to. Okay, because if you remove this, if you do not initialize this variable, so if I remove age, Python will be wondering, oh, I don't know what age is, right? If you run this, you're definitely going to get an error, right? So let's run this. You see, you get an error, meaning it says age is not defined. So always initialize your variable before you apply the condition. Always initialize your variable before you apply your conditional statement. Okay, I hope this is interesting. All right, so the next thing we're going to talk about is, permit me um, to comment this out. Okay, so the next thing we're going to be talking about is maths. Maths, mathematics, because in programming, in data science, you just have to know a bit of maths. You don't have to be scared. Maths is very simple. So let's talk about the maths. Okay, so we know some common operations in mathematics already, like plus, the addition sign. So let me put a comment here. So we know some common operations like the plus, minus, multiplication, division, um, so for board mass, we know um, multiplication, um, subtraction, addition, division. So I will put two extra operations which I want you to brainstorm before the end of this video. Okay, the two operations are going to be this and this, yes, and then this. Okay, but I'm going to give you this one, of course, because I'm going to use it in a calculation now, which is the double star. Double star is actually raised to power. Okay, so these are basic maths that um, we know from elementary class. So let's try and work around some of these maths. So we also have some functions that we use in mathematics, to give us some results. For example, if we say absolute, so let me print some results. Print. So if I say absolute, now the absolute you can use the abs. You know, once you say absolute value of, let me use minus 3.142. So absolute value, no, remember the absolute value will give you the value void of the negative or positive, the negative sign, yes, to give you the value void of the negative sign. So if you print, you give 3.142, as you can see from the right hand side here, right? 3.142. So absolute value will give you the value void of the negative sign. So um, we have others like, let's say, round, which I explained in the first video. Round. So for round, you need to put the uh, the number you want to round and which decimal place you want to round it to. So for example, if I have 3.3.67, right? If I round this to how many decimal place do I want to round? So you can say comma, let's say one decimal place, right? So if I print this result, I'm going to get the following. You can see it gave me 3.7. So you can use the round in your maths also. Um, then we also have power. So the power is this, this this double asterisk is also power. But you can also use the power function. How do I mean? If I say print now, if I say print um let's say 2 raised to power 3. If I say 2 raised to power 3, you can write 2 raised to power 3 like this. 2 double asterisk 3. This is 2 raised to power 3. So if you print this, you will get 8. Can you see that? Meaning 2 times 2 times 2. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. So, but you you may want to use the power function, right? You may want to use the power function. And using the power function, you can say power. You can say power. Then you now say, let's say 2 comma 3, meaning 2 to the power of 3. So let's print this and see. Let's print this and see what it will give us. So 2 to the power of 3. If I print that, observe this side. Let's see the result that will be on display. So if I run this, you see it still gave us 8. Okay. So you can use the double asterisk for raised to power. You can also use the power function to give you the same result. Okay. So we also have other math functions from the trigonometry. So I'm sure we are familiar with some trigonometric functions like sine, cosine, tangent, cotangent, cosecant, secant, and the rest. So these are all derived from sine and cosine. So you can even say, um, let's say sine, but I think we need to import maths. So sine, let's say 60 degree. But before this will work, we need to import math. So we're going to be doing this other um, in our other classes. So the trig functions, we have sine, cosine, we have cosine or cos, tan, and the rest. So we have other functions, the logarithmic function, the log. We have the square roots. Yes, square roots. SQRT, square roots. Now we have also um, the advanced version of the round, which we call this cell, and then we have the floor. All right, we have the floor. So these are these are all functions. Like the cell. Like think about ceiling. This will take the value up. Then think about floor. This will round the value to the downside. Yes. So these are um, these are our math function. So in the next class, we'll be talking about um, how to use these math functions. Then we'll be talking about how to use this math function. So I believe you had a nice time in this class. Please leave your comments, ask your questions. So I want a minimum of 10 persons to give me the meaning of these two operations. Yes, so that we can send rewards in the next class. Thank you. Please, if you have not liked, if you have not subscribed, please subscribe to this channel to encourage us to do more videos. And please like and leave a comment. Thank you.